Ladies and gentlemen, the late 70s, early 80s was a weird television landscape. You had a lot of syndicated shows, a lot of network shows that bombed, but this show had a lot of potential. But the problem is they had sold it to syndication as a Christian alternative to the secular soap operas that are out there. And it did have good plots and good actors, but it didn't really catch on. We're not talking about another world, of course. We're not talking about the other another life. Now, this American TV soap opera was produced and broadcast by CBN, or the Christian Broadcast Network, from June 1st, 81 to October 5th, 84. I first heard about the series in a very interesting Time article that talked about the increase of Christian music and TV in the Falwell generation, or the moral majority. It was co-created by Roy Windsor and Bob Aaron and ran for 875 episodes, 5 days a week in most locations. It attempted to combine standard afternoon intrigue with religious overtones, as many characters were portrayed as born again who relied on the power of prayer to solve their problems. Set in the fictional East Coast town of Kingsley, probably thought to be in Virginia, the show was taped in CBN's hometown of Virginia Beach, Virginia. Through its run, another life revolved around the Davidson family. Local anchorman Scott, his wife Terry, who works as a nurse, daughter Lori, and teenage son Peter. Although they sometimes struggle with their fate, they stick by their principles, show compassion towards their fellow man, most notably next door neighbor Liz Cummings, who lives with her alcoholic and adulterous husband Jeff, and her daughter Jenny, and eschew revenge to those who cause them grief. Now, there's a villain of the piece, of course. Wealthy businessman Charles Carpenter attempts to control every situation with his power of influence and holds a grudge against the Davidsons, particularly after Scott investigates a crime story involving a mob gang which has connection with Kingsley's upper crust, which includes the Carpenter family. Charles' daughter Miriam Mason also holds a grudge against the Davidsons and files an adultery case against daughter Lori, who is accused of having an affair with her husband Paul, a lecturer at the local college. Although it was later proved that Lori was innocent, Paul and Miriam get a divorce, with the latter losing custody of their son, although it is often hinted that Paul does indeed have feelings for Lori. Charles would later date Terry Davidson's half sister, the equally nefarious Nancy Lawson, who also clashes with the Davidsons and uses her charms to lure wealthy men into relationships with her, but never appears to hold down a steady career. Now, uh, in a nod to the how the Secret Storm began its story, which is quite interesting, Scott and Nora are killed in a car accident on New Year's Eve. Now, one of the program's creators, Bob Aaron, left the show after dispute. One of the show's most heavy-handed moments was Jeff was in a hospital suffering from cancer and was miraculously healed when a beam of light entered his hospital room. Declaring such soap rotting deplorable, Aaron quit the show soon after. Well, I mean, it's a soap opera, Christian or otherwise, that happens. Eddie Haley, who played the non Christian part of Gene Redland, is actually the son of a minister. At the time of the making of the series, he had been born again for some time. He credited his rebirth into Christianity as a result of his failure to win the part of Alex Haley in Roots and Next Generations. He started attending an LA church that Bob Dylan went to. One day, he was reading a parish magazine and saw something about another life and later successfully auditioned for a part. While on the set of Another Life, he would lead the cast in a half-hour prayer service each morning. Now, during its first 9 months on the air, Another Life had a simple opening shot of a beach at sunrise. Brent Havens, who was the music director of CBN's signature show, The 700 Club, composed the theme music. The original opening and closing arrangement consisted of a trumpet solo, backed by quietly played strings, and a Rhodes electric piano, which was frequently used instrument in the show's music cues. In March '82, a new jazzier theme arrived, and the sequence consisted of dramatic scenes from past episodes, which changed regularly, and close-ups of all the main characters. At the end of the montage, a shot of Terry praying in the kitchen dissolves into sunrise beach scene from the original opening. A hot licks version of Brent Haven's theme music was used for the new opening, but the quiet original arrangement continued to be used for the end credits, which featured stills from the day's episodes. Now, it would seem from the outside as this would be a strong fit for a lot of pro Christian independent channels or key ones and part of the what they call the Christian South. However, in 1984, it was canceled due to low ratings and a shortage of advertising revenues. In its first year, 68 stations nationwide bought syndication rights to the show, which would allow them to reach an estimated 50 million households daily. But as it entered in its third year, the number of stations buying the program had dropped to 25, and TV ratings showed that Another Life was reaching just 500,000 households. Of course, General Hospital was taking a whole bunch of ratings and advertising revenue for the channel, and nobody could compete with ABC at the time. So it was just bad timing. I think if this was in the mid 1980s, where some of the soaps started to fade a little bit, it could do better. Now, reruns of the series were shown on Trinity Broadcasting Network during the late 80s and early 90s, but have not aired in the United States since. The show was aired in the United Kingdom on the God TV network, in the Middle East on Middle East television. Episodes have also been uploaded onto YouTube, and the show remains popular in Africa, particularly in Nigeria. In an interview with The Punch, Nollywood producer director Zeb Ijoro revealed Another Life had inspired his own soap opera Ripples. As of 2017, Another War Life was still broadcast in the Netherlands by Christian cable channel Family 7. Now, one of the show's most successful alumni was Susan Scannell, who played Becky Hewitt, who left after the first year to join the cast of Search for Tomorrow. Dee Dee Bridgewater also had a minor role as Sam Marshall, Gene Redland's boss and later love interest. Additionally, Paul Gleason, who originated the role of troublemaker Lee Carruthers, would go on to the greater fame as the high school principal Richard Vernon in the 85 film The Breakfast Club. Now, if you can find it on YouTube, there's different versions as well. And like I said, it's a standard soap. I watched a couple episodes to prepare for this podcast, and like it's no worse or no different than anything else. And but if anything else, it seems to be a show of its time. And CBN would not put their money behind a show unless they figured. And syndication, it was rough back then because some things would work, some wouldn't. It was better for syndication in the later 1980s because with the Star Trek Next Generation and the various Canadian productions. Just see, I think wrong time, wrong place. But at the time, again, the fundamentalists, moral majority, they wanted programming because they felt, General Hospital and the other soaps were heathen, especially in Another World. So I mean, it was a rough go, but a good attempt, and not a bad show. That's all I can say. It is what it is. So if you are a fan of Another Life, let me know what you think. Again, tell me about where you saw it and were you a follower? What was your favorite plots? And if you like what we're doing here with our Vintage TV podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, or share. Bye.